Tom E Curran, how are we doing this week?
I feel really good. You?
I don't know. I was a little surprised by Robert Krafts' announcement today. That caught me a little off guard. How are we feeling about that?
He's got to be giddy. He has got to be giddy. What hangs in the balance, however, well, there's two things that are subplots. One, are they going to try and do a song and dance and put a piece of paper in Tom and say, sign it, sign it, sign it, retire a Patriot? Because my understanding is that would be a little bit more than he would want to do. So, well, I'll be there for the whole shebang and the fireworks, but you had a chance to sign me. I don't even want to do the symbolic one at this point. Now, things could have changed since he retired, and Robert first mentioned that. But that will be interesting to watch. Also, how excited do you think Bill Belichick is that Tom Brady and the ghost inspector of Tom Brady will overshadow in some ways the opener, which could be that Philadelphia Eagles game. And the conversation all week long will be, why did he finish someplace else again?
So almost like a cloud hanging over the start of the season. I had not considered the Belichick aspect to it, Mego.
Yeah, that's true. Tom, we're looking at just the leaks about what the schedule is going to officially come out at 8 p.m., I believe. But it looks like right now, according to some leaks from reporters that we trust, it looks like Philly, Miami Sunday Night Football, and New York Jets as the 3 games to start. When you hear those opponents for this Patriots team, as it's constructed now, what do you think?
Philly's going to be a problem. Philly's going to be a real problem because they're just so good. And the Patriots, against the run, they struggled last year at different junctures, so they have to play better up front. Offensively, I'm going to say what I've said since the offseason began. They have plenty of humans. They now have a coach. They have a quarterback in his 3rd year. They're going to be better than people expect. They could be 1-2. They could be 2-1. I do not think they'll be 0-3. How do you like that?
Wait. So then out of those 3, and I know this is a lot of expectations to throw out there, who's the most susceptible to toppling?
They'll beat Miami. They quite likely will beat the Jets. How's that?
Okay, there you go. He's got 2-1 with wins over the wow, and 2-0 in the division. That'd be a nice start there, Arcand.
Yeah, it certainly would be, and I'd say they're due against the Dolphins. So if they were going to do it, they might as well do it there. Bill O'Brien's been there's been reporting on him, and he's been speaking recently about things he will and won't tolerate this year. I sort of wonder, is that the right tone? Is that the right tone that needs to be struck for this offense? An offense that last year seemed to be at odds with their coaching staff from day one.
Yes, 100%. Because the level of disorganization that was present, especially in the routes that were being run, was disgusting. And that is under the supervision of Troy Brown, who we all have enjoyed. Troy. I've become friends with Troy professionally, but the wide receivers were in each other's faces far too often on routes. And Kendrick Bourne was plagued by poor concentration, focus, and line of scrimmage issues. So they have to get on it and get on it hard early and be hard about it. Because if you're not, there's a level of, I think with maybe Patricia and Judge, there was just a creeping level of, well, everything's messed up. I mean, how it doesn't matter how good we do it. It's a poop show. So they have to get back on the details in a way that they hadn't been.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Tom, but let me ask you about being bullish on the Patriots. And you've said before, 10, 11 wins, something like that, maybe more in the postseason. So if I'm wrong and I'm putting words in your mouth, correct me. But
no, you're right.
We played a clip from you earlier this segment where you were going through on the Patriots Talk podcast, you and Phil Perry and Matt Castle, and it looked like it was kind of dawning on everybody that, holy crap, there's a lot of good quarterbacks on the Patriots schedule this year. Does that have you rethinking being bullish on the team whatsoever? Not necessarily their roster and their coaching, but more who they got to face, because it really, even starting with those first 3 games, if the reports are true, it's not going to be easy. There's not a lot of easy, winnable games on the schedule.
No, there aren't. And you're right. And it is daunting. Their division is chock full of talented teams that are actually in their prime or just exiting, which Buffalo may be doing. But to me, you're right. That's that's the qualifier you have to apply. If you're going to see all of the best quarterbacks, Mahomes, Herbert, Allen 2 times, Rodgers 2 times, I mean, that alone, those are 3 of the top 5. And then I mentioned Hurts, too, who I think is one of the top 7 because of his overall game. You're going to face the most dynamic offensive player in the league 2 times in Tyreek Hill. So, yes, it is daunting. But I guess I look at it like this. They had no shot to get to 20 points for the lion's share of last year if they didn't get a return touchdown. This year, you should be able to get yourself to 24 points. I mean, that to me is the difference. They were not competitive if they didn't score special teams or defensive touchdowns last year. I just think they'll be that much better.
Tom, one of the things you said is they're going to have plenty of humans on offense. And I'm looking at this wide receiver room as it stands right now. Tyquan Thornton, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Juju Smith-Schuster, now Kayshon Boutte joining. If there's going to be Boutte, it's Boutte, Tom.
Boutte. It's Boutte.
It's definitely Boutte.
Yeah.
Kayshon Boutte. Who's going to be the odd man out in this room? Or can they make all those guys fit in?
You got to make room for Boutte. Sorry, I'll stop. That was the last one. May 11th, there will be no more jokes about Kayshon and the pronunciation or the last name. That's it. Grow up, you nitwit. The odd man out, you're exactly right to ask that. I would imagine that Boutte would be in a situation where he's, perhaps passing on to the practice squad if they cross their fingers. The tone of his comments and Matt Groh's comments were very much, we'll see with this guy. I mean, we don't know what we're going to get. He's pretty good, but it's up to him. He doesn't have a lot of chances left. So it really left you with there's reservations about how well he can perform in the league. But to me, Thornton, Parker, Bourne are your main 3. Excuse me, now Juju are your main 4. But you also have pass catchers and Gesicki who are hybrid wide receivers.
Anything left over from last year with Kendrick Bourne about maybe grumblings, the way that he, started off slow after being late for a meeting reportedly? Any issues with the staff at this point?
I don't know. I mean, he desperately, folks around him, they were not happy with the tenor of things. I think Kendrick was leading voice in saying, this isn't the way you're supposed to do this. This isn't how it works. He remains, though. So what fallout will there be? Is he on a short leash? Is there a slate that is wiped clean, as has been alleged? That'll be interesting to see. Right, Meg? Because if you say the slate's clean, no one's talking about how Kendrick Bourne was kind of a pain in the ass during training camp last year. So that will be interesting to see how much slack he gets. That's why I say there's no such thing as a clean slate. Absolutely not. Once someone does something that is indicative of things they've done in the past, you say, we've seen this before.
Tommy, before we let you go here, we haven't heard much from Mac Jones. We know he's been at the building. We know he's been working out. Is there any update on sort of his mindset coming into this season? I mean, there's been so much turnover and so much sort of upheaval, I'd say, all around him, and he hasn't said much. Where's he at?
It was interesting when I talked to Devin McCourty last week on Quick Slants. He mentioned that Jones is so hard on himself to begin with that it doesn't do him any favors to have what has gone on this offseason with the name that shall not be spoken crap that has gone on. The fact that Greg Bedard finally prodded Bill to say absolutely at midnight on Friday night after 2 days of drafting, when asked if he still felt the same way, was more like, okay, fine, absolutely. I feel the same way as I did before. Devin said that would be good to share with Mac because it's probably something that he does need to hear. And he also added, McCourty did, that is a focal point for the entire team. No matter what players will tell you who still play in the league, Devin said everyone is attuned to where the quarterback's head is at. So that will be something the team watches this offseason as they prepare.
All right, that would be good to pass along to Mac Jones because that was a change in tone to a degree, or at least a shift from Bill Belichick as it relates to Mac Jones. He's Tom Curran. He joins us each and every Thursday at 3:30 here on Jones and Mego with Arcand on WEEI. Tom Curran, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much.
Were you guys watching the schedule thing?
Ooh, I'm going to be at my house watching the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be
DVR,
watching
maybe.
the Celtics.
All right.
Where are you watching?
Tom, you're not?
I'm gonna have Rich Keefe on the Odyssey app, of course, while I'm watching the Celtics, of course. Yeah, where are you? What are you?
It's a nice day. We got the widescreen out back. The big. You can put them outside. The big widescreen. We're gonna have that popcorn. All the kids in the neighborhood are coming over.
Oh, nice. That's wonderful. It's almost like Halloween. All right, Tom. We appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Very good. Goodbye.
All right, Tom E Curran, as all our guests, joins us on the Harbor One hotline.